Hello folks and friends. So for today, as you already saw, we have a request of making a character from Animal Crossing. Now, personally, for me, I've never played Animal Crossing and all I know is that it's a video game. But I am really excited for this because I haven't done requests in a while and I would like to do it again. So I would like to start off with this one, and I have many other ones that I want to start doing. But for now, let's just get into this one. So if you guys are interested, let's just get right to it. Okay, to start off this creation, we are going to need foil and clay. I was going to use foil for this, but it seemed pretty unnecessary since it's a small creation and all we need to do is compact it with foil. Immediately after making the torso, I decided to stick a toothpick where the neck was going to be. Then with that toothpick, I decided to make the head and connect it right onto the torso, just like that. And now we can start getting into the clay part. For this, it was just mainly covering the whole thing in clay and then smoothing out later. The trickiest part of adding the clay onto the foil was that you could still see the texture through, so I had to add a couple of layers of clay just so I could have it where it's all smooth and that it looks nice. Okay, after adding all the clay onto the foil, I decided to set that off for the moment and start working on the chair that he's sitting on. To make this, I decided to just get a ball of clay and then flatten it evenly and then add the legs. Which this was pretty easy. All you had to do was roll lines of clay and then just cut them. And then there are extra wood pieces in between each leg to support it. So I'm just going to do that right away, which is just flattening clay and then cutting it. Okay, after assembling all the pieces together off camera, we can start putting this to bake. We just need to add the supporters and then we could put it in a pan. Okay, after baking it for 10 minutes, we finally have his chair. Now, before I do anything else, I want to place KK Slider where he is right now, just so I could see where he's going to be positioned. Then we can work on the snout. Then to pretty much finish off his head, we should start working on his ears. For this, I just made the shape of an ear and just placed it on the head, and it looked perfectly fine. Now it's time to make his guitar, which is proportional to his head. It's a little bit smaller actually, so I decided to work on that. After working on the foil, or the base shape for the guitar, I decided to flatten some clay and just lay it over. So for this, I wanted to make it even more flat, so I just decided to place it on my table, and it got a little bit flatter after that. And now it's time for the details. Now I do want to mention that this creation was relatively easy, but at the same time it was hard because of how simple it is. That means that you have to make sure that it does look similar to the actual creation itself. So I thought of that while I was making the whole creation, which was the guitar, the face, the body, everything. And eventually, after this whole creation was done, I was really pleased with it. Now I'm going to be working on the arms and the legs, which are pretty simple. All you have to do is make a roll of clay and then just add detail to the ends of it. And now it's time to add the legs. Now I am really happy with the position that I chose for this man or dog because of the fact that his legs are in a position where it balances him evenly. So I really enjoyed that. Anyways, now after adding the tail right away, it's time to bake it. Okay, just playing. The actual creation is here and it's fully baked. But still, you should subscribe. Now that we have it baked, we can start painting it. I started off with the chair, which I just decided to paint a regular coat of brown, and then I added darker colors with a wash. Then let's do the guitar. I really enjoyed doing the guitar as well for the painting because it had so much detail, and after painting all of it, the end product turned out pretty well. Then, as I was just talking about, we are going to cover everything with a wash, except for the body, of course, because I'm going to be painting that white again. And now it's just time to add a few highlights to the chair, just so I could give it that depth. Okay, after doing this last quick detail on the guitar, we can finally call the actual painting done. But now we have to cover the dog in white again. Now, I was expecting the same color for this as a clay, but it wasn't. In fact, it was a lot whiter than I expected. Okay, one of the most nerve-wracking things of this creation was to paint the eyeballs. Now, I didn't really know how the feature was, but I just drew it off based on how the picture looked. Now, I did trace out how it was going to look and then just painted over that, which really helped. And now finally the last step is just making the mouth, which I had to do several times. This is the first. And guys, KK Slider is done. Okay guys, the creation is finally done, and I am really pleased on how this one turned out. Now, I haven't really discussed this from my other creations, but most of them actually break, and I have to end up gluing them. For this one, I did not have to glue it at all except for the strings that I showed towards the end, but I never actually showed on camera. But besides that, it's really stable, and I'm really glad because it also snaps just on my hands like that. So, I am really pleased with this one. In fact, I wouldn't mind doing something else like this because of how much I enjoyed it. But anyways, guys, if you all have any other requests that you want me to make, go ahead and just type it in the comments and I'll try to do it. Thank you guys for watching this video. Give it a like if you enjoyed and possibly subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Bye. Just keep on reaching. Oh my.
Yeah, we gotta cover that hole up.
Hey, over there. I know, it's so funny.
You're holding.